It was a sunny Saturday afternoon when my wife, Emma, decided to host a small barbecue in our backyard. We'd invited a few close friends and our next-door neighbors, Mark and his wife, Clara. The laughter was loud, the drinks were cold, and everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. Emma had always been the life of the party, outspoken, funny, and never afraid to crack a bold joke. But that day, her words went a little too far. As the group gathered around the table, Emma started teasing me about how I never helped much in the kitchen. "Maybe I should trade my husband for one who knows how to cook," she said, laughing as she poked my arm. Everyone chuckled, including me. It sounded harmless at first, just another one of her playful remarks. But then Mark, our neighbor, leaned forward with a smirk that instantly changed the mood. "Well," he said, his tone oddly serious, "if you're really offering a trade, I wouldn't mind taking you up on that." His wife, Clara, stopped smiling. The laughter faded into silence as everyone looked between him and Emma. She froze, her smile faltering for the first time that evening. Emma tried to laugh it off. "Oh, come on, Mark, it was just a joke," she said, waving her hand dismissively. But his eyes didn't move from her. "So was mine," he replied, though his voice lacked even a hint of humor. Clara stood up abruptly, muttering something about needing to check on the kids, and walked inside. The tension that followed was thick enough to choke on. For the rest of the evening, Emma seemed unusually quiet. She avoided eye contact with Mark and kept forcing small talk with anyone who would listen. When everyone finally left, I started cleaning up while she sat at the table, lost in thought. "You shouldn't have said that," I told her gently. She sighed, rubbing her temples. "I know. I didn't think he'd actually respond like that." The next morning, things got stranger. Clara showed up at our door with a tight smile. She handed Emma a small tray of muffins and said, "I hope there are no hard feelings about last night. Mark can be impulsive." Her tone was polite, but her eyes said something else, something cold and warning. Emma stammered out a thank you, but as soon as Clara left, she turned to me, her face pale. "Did you see how she looked at me?" Over the next few days, Emma avoided going outside when she saw Mark in the yard. Once, I caught him looking toward our house from his porch, his expression unreadable. It made me uncomfortable. That night, Emma admitted she couldn't shake off the uneasy feeling. "It's like he meant what he said," she whispered. "It didn't sound like a joke." Then, a week later, something unexpected happened. Mark's wife, Clara, came over again, this time alone. She sat down with Emma in the living room and said calmly, "I just want to warn you. Mark's been talking about you a lot lately. He didn't take your joke as a joke." Emma looked terrified. Clara continued, "He thinks you actually meant what you said about trading husbands." Emma apologized immediately, saying she'd never meant to cause trouble. But Clara's words haunted her. "Just be careful," Clara said as she left. "He's not the kind of man who lets go of an idea once it's in his head." That night, Emma barely slept. Every sound outside made her jump. A few days later, when I got home from work, Emma was pacing near the window. "He was standing outside again," she said. "He just stood there, staring." I wanted to believe she was overreacting, but when I looked outside, Mark was indeed on his porch, watching. The moment he noticed me, he turned and went back inside. That weekend, Emma insisted we install a taller fence. "I don't want to see him or talk to him again," she said firmly. I agreed. The easy laughter and open friendship we once had with our neighbors vanished completely. Now, even the sound of their voices through the fence made Emma tense up. A few weeks passed before things finally reached a breaking point. One night, as Emma and I were sitting on the porch, Mark walked over. He had that same unsettling smile. "So, still thinking about that trade?" he said quietly. Before I could respond, Emma stood up, her voice shaking but loud. "That joke was a mistake, Mark. Stay away from me. From us." He stared at her for a long moment before nodding slowly. "Understood," he said. Then he turned and walked away. That was the last time he ever spoke to us directly. But for months after, Emma would still glance toward their house whenever she heard a door slam or footsteps outside. Eventually, Clara and Mark moved out. We never learned exactly why, but the neighborhood felt lighter when they left. The day the moving truck drove away, Emma let out a long breath of relief. "I'll never joke like that again," she said quietly. "Some people don't know where the joke ends." That night, as we sat together watching the sunset, I realized something important. Sometimes a careless word can invite more than laughter. It can open doors you never meant to open, and some of them lead to darkness. Emma learned that lesson the hard way, but at least we were lucky enough to close that door before it was too late.